This program is a paid commercial announcement and does not reflect the views of WPHT or its management. Today's program has been pre-recorded.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Now, Health Watch, featuring Dr. Molly Fantasia, the PhD doctor and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, with valuable information that could help you improve your quality of life. Now, Health Watch, and your host, John Damazzi.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Health Watch, the program that is heard every Sunday right here from 8 until 9 a.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. As you heard the man say, Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, the PhD doctor, executive director, and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, located in Marlton, New Jersey. Now, normally we're live in the studio, but due to a variety of conditions, we are previously recording the show, and we're doing it from the facility of Innovative Medical Associates in Marlton, New Jersey. We're doing it during the week, and the reason for that is that we want to try to bring on as many patients as we can to tell their story. We figure that it's better if you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, and that's what
great, John.
and that's what we have for you today here on Health Watch. Normally we take your calls, but since we are previously recorded, we'll be back live in a week or so we'll be taking your calls then. But Dr. Molly, it's always good to hear from the patients.
That's what I wanted to do, John.
Right.
You know how it is. You and I talk all the time, and you are a patient, so I'm thrilled about that. But the bottom line is it's so good to hear from other people because everybody has a different experience here because they come in with such a variety of conditions that we treat. It is hard for people to really understand what we do.
I know, and you and I've known you for 20 years. And sometimes people ask me, and you're not around, and they say, well, like, what do they do? What's in the hydration? What's in, and I depend on you, of course.
Right.
So I don't really study that. That's your job.
Of course. Well, we all know that we are a licensed primary care facility, and Innovative works out of our licensed primary care facility. We're a group of like-minded practitioners who've come to this from various conditions ourselves. So that being said, the philosophy here is we can do everything that any primary care facility can do. So if you need a prescription, you need an antibiotic, you need a hypertensive med, we can do that. But we really like to minimize the side effects of these pharmaceuticals. And the way we do that is to use the hydration therapy to deliver natural substances like vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and these things can, and homeopathics as well, and possibly some subclinical doses of pharmaceuticals if appropriate, medically appropriate by my medical docs. But here's the deal, folks. What we want to do is minimize the side effects from a lot of these medications because lots of my folks come in here, John, and they're on maybe 5, 6, 7 meds. It's hard to believe, all for the various conditions that we all have. And many, many times the side effects are worse than the initial condition. And
I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning, and we were talking about side effects and problems with medication. They switched his blood pressure med, and he ended up getting swelling in his tongue and swelling in the stomach. He's in the hospital now. He's coming out today.
Oh, my God.
But because of the side effect from a medicine that he hadn't been on that they put him back on.
Right.
So you've heard this story 1,000 times.
A million times. And what I want to say is that there is good data to show that if taken in the proper therapeutic doses, natural substances can indeed augment the pharmaceuticals. So the nutraceuticals can augment the pharmaceuticals and then effectuate the change that we're looking for.
All right, let me see if I got it straight when you were talking about what you do. The nutraceuticals don't necessarily totally replace pharmaceuticals, but used in conjunction, correct?
Right. In other words, I'm not going to tell somebody throw away your blood pressure pills. We need to make sure blood pressure gets under control. I won't tell somebody throw away your cardiac meds. No, I won't do that. However, we have seen over the course of 23 years that we are able to actually cut lots of these pharmaceuticals, sometimes as much as in half, and actually get the same outcome by utilizing the natural substances. And in some cases, we've actually been able to take someone off the pharmaceuticals.
And I know many times people come back and say, my doctor said, how you doing this or how you doing what you're doing?
And the reason why they come back is many times we send them back to their specialist and say, run these, here's your new test results, here's this, see what he has to say. Lots of times the specialist will then reduce the med that they're on. And also the primary care docs. You know, we have doctors here. Obviously, do not get off your medication without the physician's help.
Let's talk about when you're talking about and discussing hydration and using that in conjunction with medicines, et cetera. How long are you on the hydration, and are there any side effects from hydration?
Well, obviously, there's side effects with everything. So one thing we want to do in terms of the nutraceuticals is, you know, we get a good history on the patient. We get a list of medications that they're on. We want to know what their goals are. How can we help them get to their goals, and what we need to do to aid a patient in this. So again, what we want to do is you just don't throw an IV in somebody. You got to make sure they're fit for it, John. I mean, we're a medical hydration clinic. We're not a spa. We're not a spa.
So before someone comes in, and I know this has happened, they'll call you up and say, "Hey, I want some of that hydration." you just don't give it to them, right?
You don't just sit in the chair. We need to have the paperwork filled out, and many times we can start you the day you fill out the paperwork, but there's a process to this, and rightfully so. It's still, when you're talking about IV fluids, it's still a medical procedure.
And how many times have you heard? We've talked about sports, and now there are no sports, of course, with the pandemic.
Yes.
But how many times have we heard that they brought the athlete into the locker room and they gave him a dose of vitamin C, or they gave him a dose of hydration of some kind?
Well, because most people, believe it or not, are badly dehydrated, and athletes are one of the groups that definitely are dehydrated many times.
So that's why they bring them in.
That's why they do it.
So
it's a conventional treatment. It's just an unconventional approach to some things. That's all.
And have you had success in, and I know you've dealt with so many cases over the years and different types of cases.
Right.
Have you had success for the most part with helping people with the hydration treatments?
Well, I would tell you that our cancer supportive treatment is very involved, but also has helped our patients. And hopefully today, maybe I can get one or two of the cancer patients to talk. You know, they don't want to put that out in the universe when they're doing well. They want to make sure they stay well. And I agree with them. Also, people with chronic conditions, we've had success with Lyme disease. And an interesting thing, you and I spoke about a long time ago, environmental toxins, environmental medicine. It's something that lately I'm seeing more and more of. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because, for example, I just treated someone who had a hip replacement, and what happened is the cobalt metal from the hip leached into their blood system, and the only way to take that out is using something called chelation, which goes in and actually can excrete out the heavy metals.
And that's something you cut your teeth on way back when.
Absolutely, 20 years ago.
Actually, chelation was
chelation was originally came about because of lead poisoning at XR's battery. So definitely we've done much on that.
And you also did a lot with heart. I remember that. Heart disease.
Yes. Heart disease, absolutely, because there are many things that can help reduce lipids.
When people come into you, and this is typically in the initial consultation, I know they always say, "Yeah, Dr. Molly, I've listened to you here on the program. I've listened to you every week. I like what you say, but for myself, I want to know, can you show me something? Can you show me data?"
Well, the answer to that is yes. Of course, we have traditional laboratory data. And again, we try our best not to use up people's cash, we like to say, just in specialized testing that isn't covered. We try to use things like from the national companies that are out there and show people that, yes, look, your lipids have come down. You've improved. Your cholesterol is now down. Your triglycerides are down. We also show pulmonary function. We send you to a pulmonologist. We can show that you've had an increase in your pulmonary function with certain conditions here. So there are many ways to show this, but I think the most important way is to reiterate, did you come in because you didn't have much of a quality of life? And the answer is yes. And how are you feeling now? Pretty darn good.
You've had some people who have come in with serious problems.
Absolutely.
And I've seen some of them.
Absolutely.
And I've witnessed, and I'm not saying because I just hear on the show with
No,
you.
I know.
I mean, I'm a
sitting
patient.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
sitting there and
you're sitting there. You hear the stories.
I'm observing, you know.
That's why it's so important to get our patients to talk about this, because that's the grassroots of this. If you hear another patient who has a story similar to yours, guess what? That's what resonates with you, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to try to do today.
Yeah, we are expecting some people to come in, and we will get to
Nobody's up this early. Only you and me.
That's right. Well, you know, we're used to it. I mean,
That's right.
we're on the air at 8:00 in the morning. Come on.
man. That's true. That's true.
But we now have a replay for those who don't know this. If you miss us in the morning from 8 to 9 when we're normally in the studio live, we have a Health Watch replay 4 till 5 every Sunday. So some folks have said, yeah, you're on a little early. So we help you out with that now.
That's
we have a
right.
replay.
That's
all
right,
right.
John.
If you have just tuned in, our program is Health Watch. We are here every Sunday from 8 until 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are doing the show today, previously recorded, and it's from the facilities of Innovative Medical Associates in Marlton, New Jersey. And Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, as per usual, the PhD doctor and the executive director and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates. Now, we are coming up on a break, and then after the break, we hope to have some patients for you. And if not, Dr. Molly and I will continue to discuss what we've been talking about here, what they do and how they do it and why they do it at Innovative Medical Associates and how it can help you and anyone you know improve your quality of life. I'm your host, John DeMasi. We return more of today's Health Watch after these words. We're back here on Health Watch, and by the way, as always, when we're on the show, operators are standing by at Innovative Medical Associates, and you can contact them right now at 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505. You have more questions, you want more information, they'll be happy to help you with that. And most importantly, if you want to sit down with Dr. Molly and go over your situation in its entirety, the initial consultation is complimentary. All you have to do is call and set it up. 856-489-0505. You can call now. You can call after the show. You can call during the week, whenever. But again, that number, 856-489-0505. And the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. Innovativemedicalassociates.com is our website. Brand new, reconstructed and ready to go. Okay? Innovativemedicalassociates.com. We're here on Health Watch, and as we said earlier, we're doing the show from the offices of Innovative Medical Associates, and we thought that during the course of regular business hours, we'd have some patients, and they could tell you their story, and you can kind of relate to how they came to Innovative Medical and what their medical challenge is, and so on and so forth. And we have Jackie with us,
We
Dr.
do.
Molly, and Jackie has been coming for quite some time.
Jackie is a wonderful patient, very compliant, wonderfully. She has a very high stress life. So I'd like to say that she's self-employed. She, does hair and been in the hairstyling business for, 20 years or so, Jackie, or maybe more, right? More?
Many more.
Many more. Well, she looks wonderful,
Well,
folks.
she started when she was 12.
I
That's
would
what it
say
was.
that's just the way we did. And I would tell you, one of the things about being in the hairstyling business, they're exposed to a lot of toxins. I ended this segment by talking a little bit about environmental medicine.
Yes.
And that is something that we really need to address because people today are exposed, but people in her profession are even exposed more. So, Jackie, give him a little story about how you got to me and how you feel now.
Well, I feel wonderful now. I've been coming about 5 years to Dr. Molly. My husband turned me on because he was listening to this station. And he told me that because I had trouble with, I had Lyme disease. So I was aching all the time. Plus, I've been doing hair for a long time.
Yeah.
And I started coming and we did all the work, and Molly checked my blood and started giving me everything she thought that I needed and I was missing, and I started feeling great.
I mean, that is really the long and short of it. And, I don't pay Jackie to do this. So the truth of the matter is, when she started with us, she had tremendous amount of pain. In addition, Jackie was brave enough for us to do some stem cell PRP on your knee. Talk about that, Jackie.
Yes, started doing that. My daughter was getting married. I pulled my meniscus. I wanted to be able to dance, but I didn't want to get an operation because I didn't want to go through all that. And I talked to Molly about it, and she explained how she could help me with what I had in my bags of medication or whatever. And I started working. I started coming twice a week, and now I'm healed. My daughter's married. The wedding was great.
And I believe folks should know your daughter got married before the pandemic started, so your timing was pretty good, right?
It was perfect. It was perfect. And the other thing is, actually, one of my docs did a wonderful job on her PRP. And what's interesting is Jackie's husband is also a patient. And it's very interesting because I can say that his quality of life, when he follows what we tell him, like most men, non-compliant, and then he has to come back, right? And what happens? He has to start again. But he does acknowledge that he feels infinitely better. Am I lying, Jack?
Yeah, he feels great.
He's a great guy.
He dances good too.
So, Dr. Molly and Jackie, so the first problem was the Lyme.
Oh, sure.
And you've had hundreds of patients with Lyme, and,
Right.
and you've helped them. So what was the specific thing that you did as opposed to what, and I know you can't get into too much, but
Well, of
what
course,
did you do
but of
that,
course
that
our-
others didn't do?
Our old friend vitamin C played a tremendous part, also the homeopathics. And the other thing is, here's the additional thing. I think her Lyme problems, which were the joint problems, etc., were exacerbated by her profession. Well, in terms of the hair dyes, and she's an excellent colorist, and so in terms
And on her feet all day.
on her feet all day, I think that actually was a major factor in making the Lyme worse, and that's not unusual. This category of profession really does have a tremendous problem with the additional toxicity of the caustic chemicals, etc.
In the beginning, when Jackie first came to you, how many treatments did it take to just like see a difference?
I would say she saw a difference probably in the first 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe before that even.
Yeah, she heard what you just said.
Yeah.
Maybe before
I
that.
feel like in the very beginning, I could tell a difference right away with
And-
my energy and my thought.
Right.
I wasn't foggy.
That's interesting. Her thought process, and that's very, very important.
And I don't have a thyroid, so that's...
Oh yeah, that's another issue. She doesn't have a thyroid, which, by the way, when you think about thyroiditis and all of these, they're autoimmune in nature. So she really came to me with several problems and several challenges, but we were able to improve her quality of life. And I will tell you, this girl works. So, bottom line, that's what we do. We want to improve your quality of life and let you enjoy life.
Yes, definitely.
But I want to go to the PRP. That was
PRP.
another problem, right?
Right. And-
So you helped her avoid surgery.
Well, she couldn't have surgery right before her lovely daughter was getting married. There's no question. And what we wanted to do is definitely help her get through that particular thing. And then I would say that the hydration IVs actually enhance that, because again, I'm going to tell people, when you put these platelets and the growth factors and everything in, it's like planting your garden. So we plant the cells in the knee, that is an injection, but by utilizing the IV therapies, we're able to enhance outcome, and that's really what's happening here.
So there was two major issues.
three, actually,
The three,
if we
okay.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you feel, you feel great now, Jackie?
Wonderful.
Look at her.
Yeah. Do you notice? Well, sometimes when I miss a treatment, I notice that I miss a
I
treatment.
know that. That's why I'm
yeah.
worried if you go away.
So do you feel, if you miss a treatment, do you feel it that you missed it? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is my new martini.
Is that a great way?
Well, the liquor industry isn't happy to hear about that, but that's
well,
okay.
Listen, and if there's one thing that Dr. Molly says, we're not the food police, nor are we the liquor control board. So the bottom line is, yes, we want you to enjoy every aspect of your life. What we want you to realize is the Goldilocks principle: everything in balance.
And that's what you've done. Now, you mentioned Jackie's husband, who was not always compliant. what shouldn't you do when you're on your IV treatments? What shouldn't you do?
It isn't a matter of what you shouldn't do when you're on the treatments. What you have to do is remember we're building up your reserve. And so you should not let your reserve go down. And I will tell you, you are the best barometer of that. I'm not.
Right.
We know traditionally that it takes so many treatments for us to get to that reserve. But once we get there, it's up to you to maintain it. So some people come in twice a month, some people come in once a month, and some people are non-compliant and they come back when they start to feel really bad, and then I got to tune them up all over again.
Right. So you're kind of starting from zero if you miss too many weeks, right?
So you're starting from negative numbers, as they say. So what we like to do is keep people in an even keel, but it doesn't necessarily mean weekly. It can be monthly.
Right.
So it really depends on the patient, what they do, the stressors. I mean, we're all individuals, John.
So, Jackie, are you ready to go back to hair when the pandemic is over? You well enough? You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been ready.
I think the world is ready for hairdressers to go back.
You better believe it. Everybody in my clinic looks shaggy, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. But thank God for Jackie. And I will say, thank God, because she's coming in and she's getting herself so tuned up. She's going to be like an Energizer bunny when this thing really comes back.
Yeah, maybe you'll start 24-hour haircuts, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, she's the gal to do it.
Yeah. But you've been coming for 5 years, and I'm assuming you're going to continue to come
forever.
Forever, and you feel great. And do you do anything else? Is your diet different, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I pay attention to everything now. I'm in my 60s, so.
Does she look
No,
not at all?
I would have never thought that. No.
And now my daughter comes.
Yeah, I met her.
Yes.
In fact, one day she said hello to me, and I said, "Who's that?" She said, "Well, that's Jackie's daughter." Oh, because she was talking about the wedding.
Yes.
And she really got lucky, huh?
She
to
did.
get it in before everything got closed.
But the whole point is that what we like to do is, again, we're all about improving your quality of life. That's it, John.
And with Lyme, I mean, that's one of those things,
Lyme,
right? It just goes on forever.
It can.
And listen,
and it only gets worse.
Yeah, I've had friends that are on it, and that's been the case.
It actually
just gets worse.
It can actually make you totally disabled.
Jackie, we thank you for coming on. We're taking time out from your treatment. Now you can go get your treatment. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Jackie is a patient, and we appreciate her coming on here. Our show is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I'm your host, John DeMasi, with Dr. Molly Fantasia and some patients here on the show today, as we are previously recorded for today's program. And we will come back with more of Health Watch with Dr. Molly and guests, who are, of course, patients here at Innovative Medical. We'll come back with more of the show after these words. And we're back here on Health Watch. Don't forget, operators standing by right now at 856-489-0505. That number again, I'll read it slower, 856-489-0505. That's the number for Innovative Medical Associates. And as I said, operators are standing by right now, and they'll be happy to talk to you if you have a question, you have a comment, or you want to sit down and go over everything with Dr. Molly. You want to make an appointment. Yes, she will be in the office after the holiday, as per usual. So all you do is call and set it up, 856-489-0505. Our website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. A lot of good information on that as well. Right now, our show is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, and we have another patient, Dr. Molly.
So this is my patient, Pat, and Pat's been with me for quite a while. Pat has a very interesting story. She takes such good care of herself and her wonderful husband. I mean, she is a devotee of good integrative medicine. And that's why I enjoy having her on these shows, because she really gets it. So I'm not the only thing Pat does, but I hope that we are a cornerstone of what keeps her going. And she and I actually had a little situation where Pat actually was diagnosed with breast cancer, right, Pat?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And we went up to see my consulting oncologist, and he was very helpful and helping her get together with some of the nutraceuticals. And she comes in just about every other week at this point, right?
Yes.
For an IV for her follow-up, which is a nutritional follow-up. So tell your story, Pat.
All right. Yeah, you had a bout with breast cancer.
terrible bout with modern medicine. Okay. I went over to the hospital, talked to the doctor, and he examined me, and so they set up the surgery. I went in and I talked to the anesthesiologist, told her that I don't take medicine much, so a little goes a long way with me. I talked a long time with her about that, and I said I want to get up and be able to go walk and go home. She said, well, we want you to too.
Oh,
so she gave me what she was going to give me. They had to give me fluids, bags of fluid afterwards to dilute what she had put in me, because the doctor had told my husband that, who was in the waiting room, they didn't let him come up with me in the room. He was in the waiting room, told him that after the surgery that I would be ready to leave at 3. They closed at 6. I was there. I didn't leave until 8. She got me up, and the anesthesiologist, before she left, when she was off duty, came over and patted me. She said, she laughed. She said, a little does go a long way with you. And so then I went home. They handed my husband a script for medicine for pain. She got me out of the bed. She cleaned up everything, scrubbed the bed down and everything, and turned the light off, and we went down together. My husband was put out in the lobby because the waiting room closed at 6 o'clock.
This is a true story, folks.
Yeah,
so he had no idea what was going on.
This is a very prestigious facility.
Okay.
And so then he had to go and get the car, which took him around the hospital because all the roads were in the wrong way for him to just come out. And he had to find the car first because they closed at 6. They moved his car.
Oh, jeez.
And so we got in the car. We drove home to a pharmacy and put in the script. And then he waited in the car with me for a few minutes and went in. The pharmacist said, I cannot fill this prescription. He said, why? He said, because it was signed by
a hospitalist. Yes.
Yes.
So it wasn't a doctor that signed it. Is that what it is?
It was a doctor, but he's only affiliated with the particular.
He's a resident.
So, okay.
Right.
So then he took me home, and he practically carried me in the house. I said, you got to call the office. Maybe somebody will know what we can do. So he called the office. Another resident answered, and he said, I know exactly what happened, but you don't want to have to go back over to Philly to get this. And they could have told him he could have had Philly. Right. So then he gave me a number, and we told that to the other doctor. He called, and he gave him the doctor's ID numbers so that he could fill that prescription. No, he told the doctor what it was, and that doctor filled the prescription. So we were able to get the prescription. We went next door to CVS, and we got a prescription. Got home around 11:30.
So this is from, when did you start your day?
Early that day,
Early.
before
5
the
a.m.
surgery.
5 a.m., and now this is 11:30 at night.
And I hadn't had anything to eat.
Right. Oh, you must have been.
So I got and I make my own soups. So I had some chicken noodle soup, and Dick made me that. Heated it up, and I ate that. And then I fell asleep in the recliner. Well, he didn't want to move me or wake me up, so he put a blanket over me, and he went in the other room. During the night, I woke up, and I was in pain. I was so uncomfortable there. I thought, I got to get up, and I cannot wake him because he was.
Sure.
So I just, in the dark, I felt my way with the furniture.
Oh, jeez.
Can you believe this story?
This is like a nightmare.
It's a story, unbelievable, but it's all true.
Right.
It's all true.
And I got into the bed finally, and we got out of that. But when I went back into the doctor, my breast had swollen, and he said, well, that there's fluid in there. I would like to take it out. And I said, well, will it come out by itself? He said, eventually. Well, I was thinking about it. The needle went in my breast, and he's taking the fluid out.
Oh, well, you didn't say I want to do it. You just
no.
So he assumed you wanted to do it.
Right.
That was that. I was not going back there because they wanted radiation. They wanted, And each visit to them was different. I mean, well, you lose 25% of your lung capacity. And it could affect the heart. It is so close, because I asked that question. I thought, no, thank you. I don't want any parts of it.
So from the beginning, this thing was a big problem, and they gave you too much anesthesia, which you told them not to. And they did that anyway, and then they mess up the prescription, and you're in pain. And I mean, this whole thing is just. So I guess at that point you said, I'm done with that, and then you came to Dr. Molly, correct?
Well, I was already going to Dr.
right.
Molly for regular, monthly vitamin shots and whatnot. So yeah, I came to Molly.
And I put her in touch with my oncologist. And what we did was we went up there, we talked about it, and he thought that at this point she should just continue with what she's doing with us. By the way, she's very young. And he said, the way she looks, don't worry, Dr. Molly, just continue to do what you're doing. And he gave me some other things that he thought I might be able to use on her. And indeed, I have been doing that. I actually speak to him periodically about her at least once every 8 weeks. And he's like, she's doing everything right. And that's the thing.
Okay, but Pat, what are you doing now? In other words, that nightmare is done.
Right.
We're forgetting about that.
Right.
What are you doing now in terms of your treatment?
I exercise every day. I walk. I'm involved. I have children, so I keep in touch with them to make sure they're okay.
She takes a litany of nutraceuticals, and then we augment those with the bag. And
Right.
that's really what she's doing, and that's really keeping her young. And it's also working on holding down the cancer markers. And she's very judicious about her alternative medicine. She goes to other practitioners for homeopathics and things like that. So this woman knows integrative care.
So this whole thing, again, it goes back to, they gave her too much.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't have done, and which she told them not to do. But now, in other words,
plus their course of treatment probably would have really knocked her life back.
Right.
In other words, her quality of life, I believe in my heart, would not be where it is right now. She's a very active woman if she followed their particular course of treatment. And the smart thing that she did was she came with me to see the other oncologist. By the way, my consultant is board certified oncology, and he reviewed the records and said, you know what? This thing got it out. Again, it's my philosophy, which is you have cancer, get it out, and then go on with your life, whatever you need to do. But continue to use things like the antioxidants and the nutraceuticals to augment your program.
And when you say get it out,
I'm talking about surgically.
Surgically, I mean, she did that.
She did. She did. And then went up and got another opinion and didn't follow the same facility's protocol, because it was a pretty harsh protocol for the type of cancer and where she was at with the cancer diagnosis.
And you come in monthly now? Every 2 weeks? Okay. And she's getting what kinds of...
She's getting vitamin C. She's getting homeopathic. She's getting some anti-cancer, anti-inflammatories. She is on an estrogen modulator. She's on a ton of things in terms of what was recommended to her orally to take to augment the IVs, which again came from our oncologist, myself, and the docs here.
This is not your first patient who has had a breast cancer issue and has come to you.
As you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to talk to Pam.
Yeah, but you've had several over the years.
Many.
That have kind of taken this course.
Absolutely.
And it's been successful.
Right. It's been successful. I feel like you're a success. I mean, You've done everything you can. Listen, our belief, and I think I share this with Pat, we believe in the good Lord, and we know that God has his hand in these kinds of things. So my belief is that he's the big physician in the sky. All these guys say this is the only way to do something. There's always another bus.
Right. And tell your husband he can come in anytime, and we'll have a nice waiting room for him. Okay?
He knows it. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Continued success. Pat is here, and another story of a patient, and we have one more here on the show. It's Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. And don't forget, we also repeat the show on Sunday afternoon. So today's show you'll hear this afternoon again from 4 until 5. Health Watch every Sunday, our live version 8 till 9. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, previously recorded today from the offices of Innovative Medical Associates in Marlton, New Jersey. It's Dr. Molly Fantasia, and I'm your host, John DeMasi. We have one more patient we're going to talk to, and we'll wrap up the show after that, right here on Health Watch. More show after these words. And we're back here on Health Watch, and don't forget, operators are standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates. You can contact them if you want more information or you want to make an appointment to sit down with Dr. Molly. And the number is 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505. They will be there well after we leave you at 9 o'clock, and they'll be there all day and during the weekend and next week as well. So you can call anytime during the week, 856-489-0505. Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. And don't forget the website. You can check us out there on the web, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. And again, our show is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. We're doing the show previously recorded from the offices of Innovative Medical Associates today. And we're bringing on some folks who are patients of Innovative Medical. In addition to yours truly, we have Joanne. Who is here.
Joanne is an interesting patient, and she's been a patient of mine for how long, Joanne, roughly?
5 years.
5 years. They just flew by. Joanne is a very high-functioning person. She's been through it. She has multiple autoimmune disorders, and she's actually treated from a primary care point of view from my medical director, Dr. Testa. So she is an interesting case, and she can tell you a little bit about her story. But she has a condition, lupus, among others. But she has several other, I would say, subsets of the lupus that we addressed. But we're using high antioxidants for her. We're using a low dose of a traditional medication that we're using that is off-label. And Joanne is very stringent with her diet, and we're using anti-inflammatories, and I could go on and on. But let Joanne tell you her story.
How do you feel right now, Joanne?
I feel wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
Great. And Dr. Molly just went through a list of things that you are challenged by. And what has been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge has been the results of the lupus. 5 years ago, I came in. I could not walk. I was that fatigued. I had a stroke. From the stroke, I had epilepsy, developed epilepsy. And my joints were swollen. The fatigue was something that I can't even explain. I was no longer able to work. And the pain that I was in on a daily basis, it affected my lungs. I had to have a part of my lung out. It affected my organs, my other organs that I've had removed.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You've been through the ringer.
Yes.
So multiple challenges here. And what were you, before you came to Dr. Molly, what was kind of your treatment? Were you going to a doctor? What were you getting? Do you remember?
Yes, I was going to a rheumatologist, and they put me on Plaquenil, which is an anti-malaria.
Okay. All right. So did that side effects with that or what?
No.
No? But you kind of, it sounds like you knew that there could be a better way to handle this whole situation. So how did you get to Dr. Molly?
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to back up. There were side effects of it, and that's why they had to take me off of it. It's, I don't want you to use like the real technical because I don't know, but it affected my eyes.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Well, speak in layman's terms.
Okay.
Because if I don't understand it, we know the audience doesn't understand
it. It affected my eyesight, and if I would have continued, I would have gone blind.
Really?
Yes.
Was that serious?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you, I guess at that point, you're like throwing your hands up going, there's got to be a better way. So how did you get to Dr. Molly?
I actually volunteered for a friend who took care of Dr. Molly and her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and they recommended that I come here for treatment.
And you came, you started 5 years ago?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you remember when you started, I guess you were hoping that there would be a different result than what you had before?
Absolutely.
And So what happened then when you started coming here? Give us like the progression of, did you start to feel better immediately? Did it take a little while? What happened?
When I came in here, like I said, I was too exhausted to walk. Within 2 days, my energy started coming back. Within a week, I was able to function again.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's really good.
Yes.
And you were probably wondering, why didn't I do this before?
Yes, I wish I would have done it years ago.
Yeah. So you still continue to come? Obviously, you're still here.
Yes.
And you're still a regular patient. I mean, I've seen you in here.
Yes.
All the time. So you pretty much are kind of following the same path. And we'll bring Dr. Molly in to kind of just talk about, we're talking about how she came here. She couldn't walk.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, and in 2 days, she's feeling better.
That's right. And what's interesting about Joanne, when her reserve goes down, it's very evident. Blood pressure goes down. I mean, you have to understand lupus. Lupus is a collagen disorder. And, you know, the body has a lot of collagen. People think collagen is just for skin. Guess what, folks? It's not. There's collagen in our organs. There's collagen in our GI tract in particular. So she suffers intermittently from lots of challenges in each and every organ and system, which is why she has to be on certain medications. And again, because Dr. Testa is the primary, it makes it a whole lot easier for me because he and I communicate obviously on a daily basis, and we're able to help Joanne with a real integrative approach because he understands the methodologies of what I do, and what he doesn't know, he comes and calls me, and vice versa. That's the same for me with him. So, you know, again, I want to tell people out there that we are a conventional facility in that if you have a problem, you know, we're going to treat you both from the pharmaceutical point of view and also from the nutraceutical point of view. And Joanne is a good example of that. And we have been able to reduce some of her blood pressure meds as well. And that's very, very important because the more medication she's on, the more system involvement she gets. And what we want to do is minimize that.
And I don't think people realize how serious lupus is.
Oh, my goodness. Lupus is a terrible, terrible condition. And a lot of women have it. A lot of women have it. And the other thing is she has some comorbidities as well, right? She has chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and has viral counts that show that. So Joanne, I like to say, is a very interesting, complex case. And what we have to do is always remember that we are treating all of her autoimmune symptomatology, and really we want to give her the best quality of life that we can. And that's the key to this.
Right.
You know, you can't cure lupus. You can't cure fibromyalgia.
But you can make it easier to live with, and that's what you've done.
Exactly, and that's what we've done for her.
Well, Joanne, thanks for coming in. Believe it or not, Dr. Molly, we're at the end of the show.
Are, and God bless you, John. Thank you for coming out here today.
Continued success, and thanks to you, of course, for listening. That's going to put the wraps on another edition of Health Watch. Don't forget, 856-489-0505 is the number. 856-489-0505. You can call now or anytime today, tomorrow, during the week. Innovative Medical Associates, 856-489-0505. Website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. For Dr. Molly Fantasia and everyone at Innovative Medical Associates, the lovely Linda, Barbara, Dee, our nurses, Jess, Michelle, Crystal, and our medical assistant, Kathy, I'm your host, John DeMasi. Thanks for listening. We'll do it all over again next Sunday, Health Watch, 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. You take care.
This program is a paid commercial announcement and does not reflect the views of WPHT or its management. Today's program has